One of the things we're doing with Railz Hospitality is we're highlighting some of the innovators, industry leaders out here who are building out great concepts and creating venues, vessels for community building. I have Daniel Wolfe here with me, owner of City Cellars. So before we get into City Cellars, go ahead and tell us a little bit about what made you get into the hospitality industry.
Hospitality, really just connecting people, right? Kind of like we're doing today. When it comes to food and beverage, everyone eats, everyone drinks, whether it's water, wine, liquor, everyone does it. What you eat, depends on who you are, where you're from. But I wanted a space that's non-pretentious where people can just connect and have a good time.
And you are a restaurant owner. What is maybe some of the misconceptions that the general public may not understand when it comes to being a restaurant owner?
There's a lot of misconceptions as far as that we're rolling in money, especially with people with multi-unit locations. I mean, the margins on a restaurant industry are tough. I think, 35% more if you're a little lucky, but trying to remain profitable, you've got to be on point at all times, because one bad guess, one bad experience can really sink your ship. And it's, you're always on show. And so that is a really tough industry to be in. It's constant pressure from the time you open to the time you close, spending nights, trying to figure out, hey, how are you going to make payroll? How are you going to do this? It's definitely a demanding industry. And I think that a lot of people underestimate that, or underestimate servers and say, oh, I can, take your order, bring you your food, but it's so much more than that. There's definitely a lot of misconceptions that the general public, especially those who have never worked anything in the industry, would tell you.
And here you have created a concept where you have all-day brunch, only 21 and up. You have a huge patio overlooking downtown, but you're also part of a new commercial real estate development called East River.
Yeah.
Go ahead and touch on the concept, the spacing, and why here in this area.
Here in Houston, right, we think City Cellars define the city. We're known for our skyline, we're known for the bayou, we're known for our sports teams. And this location, when you look at our patio, I mean, that is unbeatable views of downtown Houston, of the bayou, of the stadiums, right? It's like, that to me screams City Cellars. So when I saw this location, I was like, okay, I really need to get there. I think that it makes the most sense. We relocated here from the museum district, expanded. And when we were in the museum district, we were turning away more people than we were seating. I mean, my own mom used to call me and tell me, can I come for brunch? And I'm like, I don't have a table for you. She's like, I got one in the garage I can bring. I don't got nowhere to put it, mama. Like, I got people sitting on the outside patio for their food on the floor because I'm out of chairs. We were turning away more people than we were seating on a weekly basis. So here, we've expanded and now we're growing into this space. It's definitely a new area. There's still a lot of, things that are coming to this development. It's the largest urban project or urban development in Houston, 160 acres. So it's, when this develops, this will look like City Center, which is a bustling area. And it's, for us, we got in early enough, and we have, I think, some of the best real estate out here. So now it's just waiting for that to develop and for us to flourish.
And when I first got a chance to meet you, one of the things you were passionate about was this little secret nook in the back, which is your own little speakeasy called Cocktails Unknown. What was the inspiration about putting that inside of the building?
Yeah. So Cocktails Unknown is, when being in the industry yourself, it's about mental health, right? We work long hours, demanding hours, are constantly dealing with difficult guests. And, sometimes we don't make that much depending on what's going on. And mental health in the hospitality industry is something that's not really talked about, right? We have to put on a smile no matter how we're feeling. That's the same thing in customer service. So two of my heroes, Robin Williams and Anthony Bourdain, I love their sense of humor. I love their sense of connecting people, trying local cultures, and just being authentic. So that's really what inspired Cocktails Unknown. Is it's a speakeasy dedicated to mental health advocacy. We have 18 drinks. All of them are $18. We donate 10% of every drink back to one of 10 mental health nonprofits, including some right here in Houston.
And you can't have great drinks without great food, especially in Houston. What was the inspiration behind the food menu? And
so the food menu, just like Bourdain did, he traveled the world. So when the restaurant was closed, when we were in construction, I went to 32 different countries in 6 months. And I picked some of my favorite things and some of my favorite fusions, right? So we have butter chicken samosas. We've got a brisket ramen, which kind of combines a Texas flair with a Japanese style culture. We've got harissa honey chicken skewers. We've got just Mediterranean. We've got lamb hummus, so like a braised lamb shank on some homemade hummus. And that's like kind of a tapas style menu, not really full plates. Probably the biggest thing on there is our ramen, and that's actually about to become brisket fried rice. And so we're switching up some things, but it's designed to just connect over good drinks, conversation. The speakeasy is a very intentional space to ask, how are you actually doing really, right? Because so many times people say, how are you? And we just skip past that. This is designed to be a more conversational, intimate space of, hey, how are you really doing, right? What's going on? And so that's what we're looking for.
And I think that's a misconception that people don't understand about the bar who don't work in the industry, that a lot of the people who are coming in are looking to have those conversations.
Right.
Especially if you are a transplant, which is what we're seeing a lot in Houston.
100%.
You're not connected to your traditional third spaces like you were back home, but
right.
Get a chance to walk into a spot that has warm cocktails, warm food, and warm conversation. That's how you get that lifelong loyalty. And especially here, you got these apartments here, so you're gonna have a lot of residents who are transplants looking for that type of connection. Yeah. And I know we are gonna be hosting our Craft Clash event series here, where we're going to bring in 6 different beverage creatives. They are going to create cocktails, and they're going to have to tie those cocktails into their own venue story, into their own personal stories, as well as source local ingredients. But I know you are really big about having your own personal stories in cocktails. We talked about your Man in the Mirror cocktail. Yeah. What was the science behind that?
So the Man in the Mirror, everything on our signature list has a story or a funny joke about it that's a very personal touch, right? That's our signature section. Signature to here, to this location, right? So those may change if we expand elsewhere. But the Man in the Mirror was named after my dad, teaching me, looking in the mirror and telling yourself that you're confident, that you're strong, that you're not dumb, you're not weak, etc. And what you say about yourself is what you believe about yourself, right? Positive self-talk. I learned that from my dad by looking in the mirror and saying it until I believed it personally, right? And so kind of pay tribute to that, and we chose an old fashioned because that's his favorite drink.
And that Father's Day special was lit.
Yeah.
And
it was
you're
really
going to
cool.
be welcoming a lot of the members of the hospitality industry in here.
Yep.
How are you planning to give these industry vets a great experience?
I think it comes down to we're on stage, but it's amplified, right? Because as a server, as a restaurant owner, as a bartender, right, you're, whether or not you realize it, are judging every time you go out to eat, right? Maybe not at McDonald's, but you go to another sit-down restaurant, you're judging how fast your cocktail got there. Is it good? Is it garnished pretty? Is that an actual lime twist, or does someone just butcher a lime, right? You're judging that, so it's gonna come down to training and really motivating my team and saying, hey guys, these are our industry peers, and they may not tell you, but they're absolutely judging you, right? And so it's that you guys need to be on your A game, because we're about to get talked about a lot on social media, right? And so it's the same thing, when we have an influencer, right? It's make sure you're on your P's and Q's, because you're on camera. And especially in today's age, you never know what's going to blow up online. You never know who's recording. Always assume someone is recording, because you just never know. And that's the day we live in, where everything is going to end up on TikTok, and you want to make sure it's the good stuff that ends up on TikTok.
Yeah, because once it leaves the venue, you're not in control of the narrative anymore.
Right, exactly.
Everybody's a secret shopper.
Yep,
P's and Q's.
100%. Everybody's a secret shopper. We can clip edit, we can switch things up. So make sure that what you're saying, what you're doing, can't be manipulated into something else.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you have it. City Cellars, host of Craft Clash, August 12th. Make sure you come check it out. Even if you don't make it to the Craft Clash, come check them out. Regardless, food is great scenes of the Bayou. Yeah. And as we finish up, man, any hospitality hot takes you want to get off your chest while I got you here?
Oh, hospitality hot takes.
You're a hot take guy.
Oh yeah, definitely a hot take guy. I will say, I think probably the biggest hot take is, can I name names?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say. So there is, I think, one particular restaurant, right? But I think they've trained a lot of customers in general, where simply saying that you don't like something is not going to get it off your bill.
I know exactly what restaurant you're talking about. I worked with them for 7 years.
You've got to, especially as an independent restaurant, if you cannot offer me feedback on why you don't like something, it ain't coming off the bill. Sorry, don't order it again. I think that's like probably my biggest hot take, is that if you want something taken off your bill and all you can say is, I just didn't like it, okay, well, sorry, don't order it again, right? But if you can manage to say, I didn't like it, I thought it was really, really lemony, and as long as it's not a lemon drop, I'm gonna work with you, right? Like, but if you have nothing valuable and you just didn't like it, you're trying to get a free meal, just ask. But if you can't offer any valuable feedback, it ain't coming off the meal. And if you've eaten more than 50% of it, it ain't coming off the meal. You know, so I think, you know, there's some boundaries that we enforce. And I think it really comes down to sometimes the customer is right, sometimes they're not. I think, you know, that's probably my hot take.
Houston hospitality on the go so far. All right, guys, we'll see you guys August 12th. Crowd Clash.
See y'all.